big up to all the Reds out there, the rivals, and the neutrals joining as well on the Liberal 12th Man's Liberal 12th Man show. Today, we're going to talk about something that kind of struck my interest, primarily because, I've been watching a lot of different content creators, got a lot of different platforms out there that have been just basically doing the most, as you could say, right? I appreciate you guys that are possibly watching Real Madrid and Barcelona in the background, or even if you're participating or watching along with Quasi Bowl TV or Ensman or Savages or whoever else is, we got all these different windows open. Cool, all good. Keep definitely supporting all the content creators as you can. That's what I do. Reason sometimes it gets a little choppy on my own feed here is because I have other windows open or tabs open that have the other guys shows on in the background. At least I do my part, or at least try to do my part to support each and every one of the content creators out there, even if they don't support me in the same way. Karma. I believe in karma, so it is what it is. So yeah, big up to I Love Liverpool. Big up to Jay Kismet. JK, what up? What up? So you're probably looking at the title and I'm going, what is he going to talk about today? Wait, hold up. And Real Madrid just went up. Oh, I know. Sometimes I don't know if you guys are doing. Are you all watching the game, by the way? Because I don't want to give spoilers. If you guys are going to give me a 1 if you're going to watch the game, or 2, you don't really care if I give spoilers or not for the game. So I just want to make sure, because I don't want to alienate someone in the chat or make someone disappointed about not being able to see or see what's going on. But yeah, I already gave a little bit of a spoiler of what it is, but it's like the first couple of minutes of the game. So yeah, it says, looks like I love Liverpool saying, yeah, it's all good. Okay, cool. You're watching it in the background. What I was doing here is, you don't want, okay. Oh, you don't care. That's what it was, right? Okay. So what I did with my title there was because, all right, so I watch a lot of other content creators as well. Holy crap. This is not going well for Barcelona. I'm sorry. I got it in the background. But I watched a lot of other Red for Life. Big up to you. Ozan Kabak. Yes, he played center back. What up, brother? What I was saying is that I've been watching a lot of shows and it's very interesting. I'm gonna be doing a show coming up pretty soon, actually, next possibly on Monday, if not Tuesday, called Flip Flops. I'll rock my Gucci flip flops, and everything, and because there's a lot of interesting people out there that have been going back and forth with some of their comments and some of their takes. Some of their staunch, it's this way, and then all of a sudden they flip-flop to go another way. And also, what was very interesting is I saw in one of the chats, one of the guys kept going on and on about the quad, or something about trying to diminish if we do get this Europa quad, which is what I've called it from the very beginning. It's the hashtag that I started on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and I know I was the first to really to put it out there as as such. Excuse me 1 second. I was the first to put it out as such, as being the Europa quad, because honestly, I understand this. We were so close to the quad, but it doesn't necessarily diminish the fact that getting the Europa quad would still be an amazing accomplishment. I'd like to know how you feel about it too. This is an opportunity, basically, to somewhat. Are you freaking kidding me? I'm sorry. I love Liverpool. Are you watching this, man? This is ridiculous. Stay focused, Liverpool 12th man, right? So yeah, so it is something of a measure to say you're able to go and do what you need to do. Oh, and Refer Life, I did catch that. Our boy Endo with the assist to Taki. That was very symbolic. And if anything, you know what? It really, really showed what it was, what the form he's in and the development he's had in his game and continuing to keep those levels. I hope that he keeps it back. Red for Life is saying, did you catch the Japan Vietnam match this morning? I want Taki back. Wataru Endo's son with the beautiful assist as well. Yep. Really, really, I think people are really, really understanding what it was that I was saying earlier about the importance and the sure brilliance of this player fitting our system, being an important piece in the system. And it kind of goes in a segue of what I'm saying about the Europa quad and everything else. One of the reasons why I think it was so important to get a player like Wataru or a player like Dom or any of the players that we brought in, Maka, even Ryan, I thought that bringing that out was going to basically create real symmetry with our front line, our midfield, our back line, reinventing what it was that we're going to be doing with that midfield, which is bringing legs to the midfield, basically. I mean, I think if anyone recognized it, it was more so for us. It was just about having availability. And even this year, we're dealing with structures of having to run through, we're having to work through these injuries that we're dealing with. But why, again, I was the question and all the points I was bringing up with the title was this: big up, keep it level, big up, welcome back, as I say, right? So what I was trying to get at is that a lot of what we see with this team is slowly but surely developing and inching and moving closer towards that realization that we're on all four fronts for titles this year, and big up Realism Jared, I see you too. But it was more so with me, like as we go closer and closer towards accomplishing that success, I tend to see more and more rivals, especially. I understand it. I'm sure if Brian was in the chat or, Beijing Pops was in the chat, they'd be telling me, like, let rivals talk or whatever. I get that part and point. But I see more and more people out there trying to diminish our opportunity at hand. How do you guys feel about the opportunity? Are you one, do you even believe I understand we're on all four competitions, but do you even really believe that there's a chance that we can do this? Do you believe that there's what would be your percentage? What would be your percentage chance of us winning the quad? I'd like to know the chat's response to that one. I wish I knew how to put polls up and everything else in StreamYard. I would definitely make that a poll to figure it out. But yes, I know that. Ozan, yes, I did know that. But yeah, I wanted to know what is the percentage you think of us? What is the percentage do you think of us winning a Europa quad? 50%, 75%, 70% or something, or I don't know, like 100%, 10%? Like if you're an odds maker, you're the bookie, what would you think are our odds of winning the and you don't have to put the red glasses on or whatever like that, I'm not gonna like criticize or critique your take. It's only your take. It's your take. You're welcome to it. And I'm not going to say that's ridiculous or this or that, yada yada. I'm saying this is a forum where we can all speak, and this is what I want to do. So, and if anything, you know what? Elaborate why you have your percentage at where you have it, because I just saw Ozan said that he thinks that we're going to be at 20%. Red for Life is saying, I think we have a realistic chance for getting, let me bring it up here. He says, I think we have a realistic chance for getting multiple trophies this season. Quad chance that's 70%-ish. That's high. That's good. That's cool. This is Ozan Football Sanctuary. Big up. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So Ozan was clarifying it to bring clarity, and that's what I'm all about: context and clarity. Context brings clarity. So he says we have to have everyone on deck and no more injuries for the quad to happen. Okay, so do you think that because of our injury status right now, that's the reason why you have us at 20%, or is that just saying like not possibly? I would say possibly not counting what you just added, which is I'm saying Thiago, Stefan, Robbo back. Yeah, like getting them back into the lineups or even onto the pitch, onto the training pitch to be able to start actually performing with the team. Is that something that raises it from 20 to 40% or 30%? I was just wondering. Very interesting too that La Liga uses the 3D offsides. It's very interesting right there. Sorry. I know I got the Real and Barcelona game in the corner here. But he says, let's see. I Love Liverpool says, I don't think it's crazy and we don't need to be perfect, just need to keep going and stay consistent. I agree with that completely. I didn't get this. Let's see. He says, let me see if it shows up on here. No, it doesn't show up on here. He says, yes, because if we have everyone back, we can have two squads essentially. Yes, you know what's really interesting about that too is that I think is a big portion of why we're even in it today. I think the reason why we're even remotely in this quad chase, okay, this Europa quad chase, excuse me, is because of our depth. And it's something that we would have never said last year, at least. We would have never said that we have depth. There was a lot of times a lot of people were so critical of our depth in our rotation that Pop was doing. So that's why I wanted to really get into this, have fun with this episode at least. Rare for Life is saying 1 foot in the League Cup final, FA Cup only. City are standout challengers, definitely. Europa, really good chance. Yeah, I get that next comment too. Only Leverkusen is threatening to Red for Life, and the Prem, as long as we keep it up, it could be ours. And I think that's a valid point. I really appreciate the context, guys, too, because like sometimes on a lot of channels, you'll see someone just make a comment, you'll see the creator, bring up the comment, but not really completely understand, and you're not on here speaking with me, obviously. So I just like to bring context to things, and I don't mind reading. I don't, unlike some people, no, I'm just joking. But I don't mind reading, and I don't mind including your say in what we have to do today. Let's see. So Realism Jerry says 20% with rotation and subs being game changing as they have been first half of the season. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that is a very good point. I do not know Jamie's live tonight, by the way. The best way to find that out is to go to his channel and just go to his channel and normally hit the live and it'll tell you what he has scheduled. I don't know if but I have him on my do what I hope that you do with my channel as well, with our channel, I should say, and that is put the notification bell on, and then you'll definitely know. It'll usually give you like a 30-minute heads up as to when it's coming, when the show is going to be on, because that's how I know a lot of other guys when their show is going live. And then the Football Sanctuary says, even if we win the Caribou, the FA Cup, and Europa, it's a great season. Just like 2000, 2001 context, people. Now that's what I want to get into. Thank you, the Football Sanctuary. That's exactly what I wanted to get into, because the one pushback that I was having on a lot of the chats was basically I got pushed back from saying, we're in all competitions and everything else. And someone brought up this, in essence, like the treble in it, and they were saying how they're basically saying how we've never even won a treble, being Liverpool has never won a treble. And I was like, wait a minute, we've won like the treble actually twice. We've won the treble twice, to tell you the truth. Excuse me. So it got to me thinking like, okay, well then what exactly is a treble? What is it? What is a treble to you? What is it? Let's just begin with that. Before we even go on to the quad, let's just talk about what is a treble. What do you consider being a treble? And it's something that it was that's why it was interesting to me, because it was a very interesting discussion that I thought we should have, because we're going to face it, especially when we start saying Europa quad. We're still going to face it when it comes to a lot of different rivals, especially trying to like belittle and diminish our accomplishment. And it's just natural for them to do so, but it's just the same thing, you know. So this is what people are. I want to see your ideas and concepts. I'm going to tell you what, like, you know, what the internet says. Okay, so what, like, some of the descriptions I've seen on the internet when I did my research yesterday, and what it is this is like, it's saying, what is a treble? What is a treble? The baby quad. You know, I got you. The baby quad, the Europa quad. You know, baby quad. That was good. That one I think was started by Beige and Reds TV. That one was a good one. I like that. There was another one. There's a couple other ones too that I remember on Grizz's show. They started rifling off some of the other names. I don't know. I don't know if El Clasico is on Sky. I know that it's the Quad Light. That's good. I don't know if El Clasico is on Sky. I know I'm watching on ESPN. I know you guys have ESPN in England as well, but I don't know if Sky has preference over ESPN to watch it or not. The B-Tech quad. I thought about that one, but I'm like, I don't want to necessarily diminish Europa to that level so much. I feel you on that one. But yeah, the Quad Light is a good one. B-Tech quad, the Diet quad. I like the Diet quad. Yeah. Dustin's giving out the baby quad name for it. But I get, like, as in Ozan saying, combination then become ranked depending on how big the competition is. Dustin saying every 3 trophies in a season. Quad from Wish. That one's good. That's funny. That is pretty funny. What else do we have it called again? Let's see. Okay, and then Red for Life here says, Red for Life says, maybe I'm simple, but for me, a treble is winning 3 trophies. I'm on the same boat with you right there, you know, because if you're winning 3 trophies, 3 out of the 4 competitions, if you're winning 3 of the trophies, that means that you've won either a European title and you've won the league. One of the, if not both, you could have won both, you know. That's like saying, okay, well, if I won the Champions League and I win Champions League and I win the league, and then I also win not the FA Cup, but I win the League Cup, let's say. Is that not a treble? I didn't win the FA Cup, but I won the League Cup and I won Champions League and I won the league title. But then you'll have people be like, oh, that's not a treble, you know? And it's like, okay, what is it then? You know, because it's not a domestic treble, as some people have put it. When you win the league, the FA Cup, and you win the league, FA Cup, and you win the League Cup, some people are like, oh, well, that's a domestic treble. And I'm like, yeah, but it's still a treble. You still won 3 titles in a season. To me, it's just that simple, you know. So when I did the research, it was like, oh, you know, for instance, like it was spoken of earlier in 2001. Under Gerard Houllier, we won the Europa League, League Cup, and FA Cup. We didn't win the league that year, but we won the Europa League, we won the League Cup, and we won the FA Cup. So we did the domestic League Cup double, and we won the Europa League. That's a treble to me. It's weird. You know, like, it's really weird how sometimes we're going to watch people try to diminish your accomplishment. That's still a major, major accomplishment. I don't know about you guys, but I really think that wait, hold on. That's funny. That's funny, though. The Slim Fast quad. That was pretty funny. That was funny. JK says we are in the lead with a two-legged semifinal, and we are on top of the Premier League. Those two are the ones we should concentrate on. Still a long way to go in the Europa League and the FA Cup. Now I agree. FA Cup is a very, very long tournament for us to be in. Stop, JK. The Kardashian squad. No, stop. Kardashians are team killers, dude. They're team killers. Every guy that is in sports, connected to sports, the team that they mess with always goes down. And I don't even know if that's a pause or not on that one. Ozan is saying that he agrees with you. He says we need to get to the Wembley and secure the first trophy. Absolutely on that. Absolutely. I think that it's a big momentum, a big momentum builder when you get into the cases of being able to get that first trophy to the side. You get people recognizing and realizing what you can do and everything else. And as long as you keep them hungry and you understand the fact of what is still yet to come, they can't do what, for instance, what Manchester United did when they won the League Cup. It's the first trophy that you can get, and they won the League Cup, and yet technically the first trophy. I know that we don't have a Super Cup in England, and I also understand the fact that sometimes people connect the Community Shield with an English Super Cup, but all the same, when it gets to it, it's the League Cup is the first quote unquote official in season, I guess, trophy that we can win. And it could be a momentum builder. It could be something of a testament of saying, oh yeah, hey, let's enjoy this, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. There's still work to do. Still a lot of work to do. Big up to LFC Aaron. I haven't seen you in a little while, brother. Good to see you, brother. Definitely good to see you, brethren. Yeah, the Cup Treble. I've seen it called that. And then Football Sanctuary is saying the treble is UCL, Prem, and FA Cup. So how is winning the FA Cup and Prem the double? I think they call it. I think if you win, so it's interesting. That's a very interesting question, because I think if you could win the League Cup and the FA Cup and it is called a domestic double, and not have won the league or a Europa a Europe tournament. So whether you're in the Champions League or Europa, or even now you have Conference League. They say that like basically you could win those and it's a domestic double. I've heard that reference be put on it. So and then I've even heard the domestic treble as well. I've heard the domestic treble. So like basically it says, I put in, let me read over my notes here real quick. Oh yeah, so it said so how did basically City has won a domestic treble before as well, in the sense of they didn't win it. They won the league, they won the FA Cup, they won the League Cup, but they didn't win the Champions League. So they won a domestic treble in essence. Let's see, what is it right here now? Red for Life says people tend to disrespect the league and even the FA Cup in general, but for Red for Life, he says silverware is silverware, which is where I'm at right, dude, brother. He says they are still competitions at the end of the day, and are the bulk of our trophies. They are. The League Cup is actually, we are the leaders. We are the leading League Cup winners in all of England. So the League Cup, the same way that Arsenal has a somewhat of a I wouldn't say stranglehold, but that because we're not that far off, especially if we win it this year. But I know that they have, I think I'm gonna say they have 14, right? 13 or 14, one of the two. I think they have 14 FA Cups, and it's one of those cases where it's like, or maybe they have less. If anyone knows in the chat, if we have any Gooners in the chat, please do correct me if I'm wrong on how many FA Cups the Gooners have. But that's why it felt a little bit that much sweeter to knock them out of the FA Cup. At the Emirates, it's one thing to knock them out of anything, but to knock them out of the FA Cup at the Emirates in a tournament that they hold on to so close to the heart and so close to the chest, and especially a tournament that, and like I said, they've been really good at. Obviously, they've won it a bunch of times. So I was saying, so yeah, I know that we've done it before. Like I said, by winning the Europa League. In my point or my view, because a treble is just that. It's a treble to me. Like if you win 3 tournaments or 3 competitions, being either the league or you win the Europa or you win, and if you want to call it the Europa Quad, that's cool. But I mean, like it's still an effort towards that. And that's why it's very interesting. I know there's been a bunch of teams that have won trebles, whether not only just in England, but just in Europe in general, whether it's Celtics won one, Ajax, PSV, United, Barcelona, Inter, Bayern Munich. all of them on top of my head. Barcelona, I say that already? Yeah, I said Barcelona already. Because they did it twice. I think Barcelona's done it twice. I think Bayern Munich's done it twice. Manchester City's done it. In 2000, obviously, in this recent year. But you know, like it's just something very interesting how they just try to like chop down this accomplishment that we're on board of doing. I think even if we do another Icarus and we reach for the sky or reach for the sun or try to touch the sun and we fall short, I still think it's an accomplishment if we win 3 titles. I don't think anyone here in the chat would say if we ended up winning a treble, that they would be like, oh, you know what, I'm disappointed. And even if it's a Europa, so how about this though? I will ask this question. If we were to win, oh wow, great goal. If we were to win Europa and to win FA Cup and the League Cup, would that be a disappointing year for you? And what would you call that too? Would you call that Europa treble? Or would you call that, I mean, that's something that we've already done technically. What would that be for you guys? Like, would that be a disappointment? There's a bunch of comments. My fault. I'm falling behind on the comments here. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Arsenal do have 14. Big up. Thank you for Football Sanctuary. And then let's see what else. What else? So yeah. So I was gonna say yes. Okay. So LC Aaron is saying here, it would be a fantastic season if we win all the cups. I absolutely agree. But let's just say, I'm not saying we're not. Obviously, I'm already on board of saying Europa Quad all day, every day. I'm already been clipped up. I'm already there with that. So I'm going to definitely hear about it, I'm sure. But yeah. So but I am wondering though, like, what would it be? Would it be if we ended up winning the Europa? And we ended up winning both FA and FA Cup and the League Cup. Now, obviously, we're going to be in Champions League regardless by winning the Europa. So that doesn't matter. Let's say we end up 2nd place. Okay. And let's say I don't want to say Villa wins it, because I don't want to say the 115 win it either. I don't want to say City wins it, because then that would be like that would be their 4th title in a row. That's an accomplishment in itself right there for them. I don't want to see them achieve some record that is a very difficult record to surmount. I definitely don't want to see I don't want to see the Gooners win it as well. I don't want to say Villa win it, because if Villa or Tottenham or one of those teams win it, it probably means that we most likely should have been in it to win it even more so, because I don't think that those teams have a better opportunity at winning it than us. But it also would probably mean that we had some fortunate circumstances happen to us. But yeah, I mean, it's just something where it's a question, because I think that it's meaningful to ask, because like, you know, we had to prepare ourselves for that last year when we were like, you know, if Villa, or not last year, but excuse me, 2 years ago, when Villa was like so close to like basically helping us, and our beloved Steven Gerrard was so close to, you know, helping us or helping deliver us a title, and even more so where we're able to find some of the other stuff going on with like with Real Madrid in that quarter, in that Champions League final. But I agree though. It does it depends on context. So what is the context that you would say then, Dustin? What was the context that you would say makes the difference for you? I would love to hear that from everyone as well. Hey, Rushdie, good to see you, brother. Rushdie says, if we win Europa, we will be in pot one in the Champions League. Very important to try and win it. That's a very important, yes, especially since you know, I wasn't expecting much from from the Red Devils, but I can say that you know, their exit, Newcastle's exit, and the exit of the Red Devils or Manchester United has diminished the Premier League, has taken down the coefficient for the Premier League. So it kind of sucks. So yes, we do have to do something about that. Let's see. There's another comment here I wanted to include. Is this one? I think it might be this one. It says, if we win the 4 trophies this season, would be the second biggest achievement you can get in English football. Okay. I guess the first would be obviously winning the Champions League on top of it. And it's kind of interesting too, because there was a time, I'm not saying that time is now, but there was a time when the Europa was like the tournament. The Europa was the tournament to win. It simply was, you know, and it's very interesting, you know, how so much has changed with the depiction of that tournament. But yeah, Vinicius is about to take a spot kick. I'm not going to give any real spoilers. I'll just keep it cool. It's not a pen on Vinny. It's actually a pen for Vinny is taking. Oh, on Vinny, I got you to say yes. He got the pen. Yes. I would love to know. Tell me about the big news about Trent. I would love to know what's going on with Trent. Only news I heard was that he was in that he was in Italy or something for for some fashion show or something. That's the only thing I've heard about Trent. Hopefully he's rehabbing and getting back to where he's got to be physically. But yeah, so I wanted to bring this up here too. Hold on one second. He went down. I should keep it level. That's funny. It is kind of crazy. You know what also is funny about that is that for Vinny Jr., speaking of Vinny Jr., I just saw I was watching the Man U and the Spurs Man U matchup, and when it comes to I had that picked as a draw, by the way. I definitely had that picked as a draw, which ended up being a 2-2 draw. But what was very interesting that they made the commentator on this side of the pond made a comment about Udogie and how easily he goes to ground and how the slightest contact goes to ground. I'm like, you don't have to tell us that. If you're a Reds fan out there, you don't have to tell us about Udogie taking dives. That is for certainly sure. But yeah, so yeah, I have some other points and I wanted to bring up. Oh yeah, the other the other treble that we've achieved also was in 1976 and 1977 when we won the league. We won the European Cup. Or excuse me, that was the double actually. Was that a double? Europa have won combined leagues and titles. Okay, yeah. So 1976-77, we won the league and the European Cup. And then also, let's see, we twice won the league and the UEFA Cup in 72 and 72, 73, and 75, 76. So it is something that we do quite often or have done before. We have done it we did it in 1980, 81 too, when we won the European Cup. We lifted the league. I think we won the league. We won because the 80s was like basically all Reds primarily. If you lived in Liverpool, you're basically watching a parade. You're basically watching a parade every year almost during those 80s. But yeah, was it 83, 84? You're saying, LFC Aaron? Because I thought it was 80, 81 that we won. We won a second trophy with the League Cup, and we won the European Cup, I thought. But let me double check because I think I wrote it. I wrote it down, I believe, somewhere here. Yeah. Oh, you know what? You're right. So Liverpool have won. Oh, no, that's a double. Excuse me. Oh, 83, 84. You're all right. You're all right. My fault. You are right, Aaron. So it was the most trophies we have won in the season are 3. In the 1983-84 season, we won the League Cup, and the European Cup. My fault. And then in 2000, 2001, we lifted the UEFA Cup, and we won the both domestic cups. Yeah. But 81 was a good 81 was a good year too. I mean, there was a lot of good years in the 80s for the Reds when it comes to lifting silverware. It's just something that I think like we just got to be all prepared for. We're going to have I get rivals are going to be rivals. We expect that, and that's something that I'm already prepared for. But we're also going to have a lot of neutrals, if not just haters, in general. That if we do accomplish this, I'm prepared and I'm expecting us to have to take on what we need to do or what they're going to say about, oh, it's not a real accomplishment or da 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 da. You got to be like, okay, man, that's the silliest thing you could have said. Oh wow, when the UCL had 2 group stages. I don't. That's way back. You have the Football Sanctuary. You have to remind us all on that one. Even I can't remember. Did they just give They just gave a red card. And let me see. I believe Jude. Did Jude just get a red card? Are you guys? I'm watching out the corner of my eye. He showed red. Did he just get a red card? This game is interesting too. Real quick side note on this. Oh wow, he showed a red, and then he brought it back. So he showed a red, but then he showed a yellow. This game is weird. Game is really weird. I thought he showed a red because I saw the red card go up, or maybe he was just trying to find the yellow card and was stuck to the red. But it looks like Jude got a yellow card. So LC Aaron is also saying, also 12, man, we need to win trophies to stay ahead of man. That's huge, LC Aaron. Ahead of Manchester United on overall trophies. That is definitely true. Them getting that League Cup didn't help. Definitely didn't help. But it'd be interesting. That's why also, even though I'm saying the quad, and I know that people don't necessarily rate those other trophies when it comes to a lot of different things like the World Cup and all the other stuff World Club Cup and all the other things that you can do nowadays, the Super Cups and everything else, World Super Cup and all those competitions. I still consider them parts of the Infinity Glove here that we're trying to get. But yeah, it's very interesting how we're gonna watch slowly but surely teams, clubs, rivals, neutrals, even some of our own fans basically diminish or take away from what we have to do. Let's see. But there is one other thing I wanted to bring up here too, as well. There was something about okay, yeah. So there was something I wanted to bring up too about this. So, I know that also there are those out there that have have Klopp as being their number 2 best, greatest coach, or if we were to win this Europa quad, and Phillips got my quote too from when I was talking about the 80-81 team. I think I'm gonna bring up your quote in a second, Philip. But if we were to win the Europa quad, would you say that is the greatest accomplishment of any Premier League team? I said Premier League team. Okay. Would you say that's the greatest accomplishment of any Premier League team? If we were to win that, if we were to win for those 4 trophies, would you say that that is a more accomplished, is a bigger accomplishment than even the treble that Manchester United have won, or obviously what City has done by winning the league, winning the FA Cup, and winning obviously the Champions League. Would you say it's more historic, or it's a more prestigious, or a bigger accomplishment? That's the biggest question. That's the bottom line of the question. Would you say it's a bigger accomplishment? Because I know there's people out there that have Klopp as the best coach in the world, and there's some that have say that Pep is, but I was wondering, would it be a bigger accomplishment? LC Aaron says no, not in his opinion. Okay. LC Aaron, why would it? What in this? Because it would be a treble technically, even if we want to call it domestic treble, it would be a domestic treble, but it would have also been an accomplishment of winning by winning the Europa. We have won a relatively historic title in Europe. I would just like to know. I'm not judging your comment. I'm more so just asking for clarity or context to it as to why would it not be, in your opinion, the greatest accomplishment for a Premier League. I'm not saying the entire English history of football. I'm just saying for the Prem. Okay, so for the Premier League, is it the biggest accomplishment ever established if we win the Europa quad, or does it still take a back seat to the trebles that have been won by City and United? In your opinion, that's something I would like to hear. That's something that I'm almost tempted to open up the phone lines to hear people's opinions on. That's how close I am to hearing that. To hear that, if you guys don't want to put it into context in the chat, but I would like to hear that opinion, because I think that it is a major. Obviously, we're all together on the sense that yes, it would be an incredible accomplishment for us to win four titles. And especially since FA Cup is such a difficult title to win, in that it's such a long tournament, and goes so long, lengthy. It's a lengthy tournament in the sense of how long it stays with us in the scheduling, and then also obviously League Cup we could put to bed pretty soon, but winning the league is still a very difficult accomplishment to make. So that's why I would like to see would you say it's the biggest accomplishment, or would you say the treble, or would you still say that Manchester United's treble, or even obviously City's treble, is still a bigger accomplishment than our Europa quad? That's what I would love to hear from you guys. Let me search the chat here for that opinion, because that's something I think is that's what obviously what we're going to have to deal with, but also something that's relevant to what the discussion is probably going to be on and dealing with when we have these conversations. So and Football Sanctuary, please do tell us when. I'm still interested to hear this from Football Sanctuary. When was the last when the UCL had 2 group stages? I can't remember what year that was. So let's see. I did say that. It said So Ozan Kabak, yes, he plays center back, says, would love to draw level with them at 20 league titles at the end of the season. Okay. I'm right there with you. This is what Philip Bidwell says. This is about the 80-81 comment that I made earlier. He says 81 was when we first won the European, I kept saying European Cup, which became the Champions League, and you had to be league champions to qualify. Yeah, you know what? There was a lot of stipulations, and there's a lot of years that we weren't able technically to even play in Europe. You know, a lot of history would have changed, I believe, if Liverpool were able to have played on a lot of those competitions when they were during that spell that we were banned from European competitions. But there were a lot of stipulations as well, just as Philip is saying. And this is why I appreciate context. This is why I appreciate, historians and fellow romantics of fellow football romantics that like to, to know the game, but also know the history of the game as well. I appreciate that, Philip. Drunk Figo says it would be glorious, bro. I feel you. And then he says that Klopp would have a statue. So yeah, I would definitely. All right, falling behind again in the comments. Oh, I know, Drunk Figo. I know. Trust me, I know. I know. I try to make sure that I call out. That's why I want to have that. That's why I want to have that show called Flip Flopper or Flip Flops. And again, I'll rock the Gucci flip flops when we broadcast that live. But there are plenty of people out there that have short memories, have goldfish style memories when it comes to thinking that those of us out here don't watch them say one thing and then say completely a different thing. On sometimes on the same day. I've seen people be on one show say one thing, and then the very next show that they're on, they'll say completely the opposite. Absolutely incredible. Flip floppers to a major thing. Yes, 77. Okay, yeah, 1977. Okay, I got you. 1977, not 1981. Okay. LC Aaron says here. He says, yes, it would be a great achievement, but the European Cup carries so much weight. Okay, I got. So you're saying that basically, but LC Aaron didn't answer me this then too. So the year that we ended up winning the European Cup and we won the wait, let me make sure so there was a year that we won the European Cup. I don't think we won the league, but we won the European Cup. So we won the European Cup and we won both domestic cups, right? Is that not then if we won the European, like I get it was a Europa League, but in 2000, that's not the same thing then, and that's well, at least that was my question, at least for you, is that because then technically I think then we should probably be able to say treble, or are you just saying because it's a Europa and it's not the Champions League? Is that what you're saying? Let's see, what other comments do we have? That's an interesting statement here. Football Sanctuary says Klopp is the best manager, but Pep is the best coach. And I get what you mean by manager and coach. Manager is usually attested to someone that is able to manage players, like be able to manage players in the sense of, keep getting rotation, keeping people happy, that kind of thing. He's the best manager. But coaching means that you're great with tactics and everything else. And it's very interesting because sometimes people say that Pep overthinks too much. He overthinks. And if anything, this year, a lot of times people have been really noting Klopp's tactics this year over necessarily. I mean, his man management, people have given credit for, but I'm just saying for some of these cases, a lot of people have been finally noting that Klopp is a good coach too. I get, and again, it's going from the manager / coach definitions that you're using. Because I asked that because I got on G about that as well. I mean, I know G doesn't rate Klopp, and I know that G has his own opinion about Klopp out type situation, and he's somewhat given him flowers this year, somewhat. Reluctantly, even though the flowers do have thorns on them still, he's giving them his roses, but they still have the thorns on them. But it's just interesting. The Jurgen Quad. The Jurgen Quad would be interesting to have that kind of title. Let's see. Barry Sweeney. Big up, Barry. Good to see you. He says, doing what City did is what every Liverpool fan wants, except we won't cheat to do it. That is spot on against the 115. And I that much, I really do a credit to our club into the sense that we're at least trying to do it right. At least, and from what I know, at least we're trying to do it right. I'm very much, knock on wood, hoping that there's no later scandals or something that gets brought up or something stupid. But let's see. Yeah. I would love to do I would love to do a one-on-one with Tom Little someday. That'd be fun, because I know Tom Little has sometimes worn flip-flops of his own. Let's put it that way. But he's a good guy. He's a red. Not saying he's a bad person at all, but it is what it is. Sometimes I've seen him say some things where I'm just like, didn't say that yesterday, but it's all good. It's all good. I know. I got you. I love it. K-Mac has come out and openly admitted that he's done a little bit of flip-flopping, because he was a Klopp outer. He was an animate Klopp outer. Now he's at least taken off the thorns from the roses. I can say that much for K-Mac. Big up to K-Mac. K-Mac's got his own channel, K-Mac channel. Definitely, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do this to do that. Excuse me. Let's see. I wanted to make sure I got that, because I wanted to hear if you guys thought that. So, I got that. That's what I said. Oh, pick up Reds. One of our Reds queens, one of our Mighty Reds Army queens is in the house. Marion is in the house. Good to see you as always, Your Majesty. And 0203. Okay, I got you, Football Sanctuary. Let's see. Football Sanctuary says, winning 4 trophies is better than 3, but the treble is more prestigious and lucrative. I agree. I mean, winning the Champions League is night and day difference when it comes to financial returns or rewards, and the ability which would, obviously enhance our ability to, enhance our ability to go out and refresh the team, or pay better salaries to players to keep them a part of the club, or reward certain players. It definitely would help by winning the Champions League. It's night and day difference when it comes to Europa and the money. It's also a reason why, excuse me, I'm gonna take one more sip. It's also the reason why I made that comment about when I found out how much you win from the League Cup. And I know Brian made a point to say that it's not about money when it comes to the cups, and I understand that. It's more about the prestige and the honor. But you only win 100. You win 100K. Like, it's so crazy that you win 100K as the winner of the League Cup, and basically that wouldn't pay for half our. It wouldn't pay for half of the players on our wage bill. Is for 100K. That's just wild. That's just wild to me. So yeah, I got you. I love Liverpool. I mean, I see your comment. I see your comment in full. Let me bring up these other comments here too. This is saying a treble is 3 trophies in one season, but the treble in the league, Champions League, but the treble is the league, Champions League, and FA Cup. And I get that. That's what a lot of people are going to reference it as. That's going to be and that's again why I made this episode. Why I wanted to do at least a full 90 on this, about the fact that I get that it's not what is being more so the accepted term when it comes to the treble. I just think it's interesting because even that definition, Philip, has changed over time. That definition has changed over time. It's like when Liverpool did it, it was looked at as being a treble. But yet when Manchester United did their version of the treble, that became the accepted version of the treble. At least that's from the history that I've like grew up on, at least understanding. And that's why I'm saying that's why I wanted to definitely hear what you guys had to say, hear what you guys wanted to include in the description for when we do deal with other people, when we deal with rivals, neutrals, even our own fan base. I wanted to hear what you guys, what your definition would be. Let's see. Okay. Football Sanctuary says that he would rather us. He would prefer LC to play like City over the way that we play currently. I take it, right? And I mean, we don't play like City with the way that they use the box midfield. I know that a lot of people have been talking about it, about this and that, but it's an interesting discussion with Pep and with Jurgen, and how their interpretations of both of which I utilize, in my opinion, what I call an amoeba style formation, which is like, even though you see on paper, oh, it's a 4-3-3 or it's a 4-2-3-1 or whatever it is that they're running, and then you look at it when you're watching it and you're trying to dissect it all, you can see that, hey, you know what? I don't even know. Like, there's 4 forwards in this game. There's like, there's an inverted there's an inverted halfback, or with City, John Stones is playing in the midfield. Like, there's so many different interpretations and variations of the formation that occur. So it's very difficult when it gets to like really pinpointing a lot of stuff. An amoeba formation, yes. Ozan Kabak, yes, he plays center back. I call it an amoeba formation. An amoeba, you know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like the in X-Men, there was that guy that could like move. He could like get between. He was a senator, and they changed him into like this amoeba style organism that could like change shape and be able to move, like he could get through he was in a jail cell, and he was able to like morph through the shape shifting. It is. I really think it's like, and Drunk Vigo has my back on this. It is a real shape-shifting formation. That's why I keep stressing, like, people keep telling me, oh, it's a 4-3-3 or this, that. Yes, there's times when we'll have a back four where Trent will be in the back line, and it'll be a more proper essence of a four. But then there's also times when he'll gravitate towards the middle, and we'll create a box four. We'll create a box four in our midfield, to take care. It's about creating numerical advantages for our club, and that's something that I think is unique. And that's why also when I hear the distinction of manager versus coach, I think both Pep and Klopp have attributes of both. That's why I think they're the best at their craft. I think they both have very good management tactics. I think Klopp has better management skills, just was spoken earlier. But I also think that Pep's, because I think that Pep can be more confrontational, I guess is a better word for it, with his players than Klopp can be. I know Klopp, I think Klopp would be more of the guy that'll applaud the effort, knows that you're working, will appreciate hard work. And Pep is the kind of guy that will berate his best player as they're walking off the pitch. Like as we saw him do to Haaland. I think Haaland had even scored in that game that he was doing it, but he wasn't doing it to the level of what Pep wanted. So like he was staunchly in Haaland's face, and Haaland is sitting there just like, I'm sure some players don't respond well to that. They could have been or especially sometimes when players deal with that kind of stuff, that could be the reason why they tap out on wanting to be a part of that. They don't, we're in a time and era when players often don't want to be shown up, especially. But that era of like that what was it? What was the quote they used to do for Sir Alex? Where they would, the I think it's called like the hairbrush something. It's like some analogy with the hairbrush thing or something. basically just trying to, say that he held a stern fist when it came to, dealing with his players as well. It's something of interesting point to note out. Let's see. But yes, let's move on. So, let's see. Oh, you know what, too, though? This is a really, really good point. I haven't done a Tactical Tuesday in a while, primarily because, like, I've been so busy with a lot of different things. And sometimes I would end up having my show on Tuesday. But that's a real, what's really interesting, and I could do a Tactical Tuesday on this Drunk Vigo. But again, dealing with the and Ozan, this is what I mean by the amoeba style, an amoeba style formation. I recognize that the fluidity, another catchphrase word now that's being used so much. And what I mean by that catchphrase is because, like, I remember I was on Nsban TV channel, and I was on a debate panel, and I brought up a subject I brought up on Compish about fluidity. I dealt with going back and forth with Matt and with Matt and Cal, who I appreciate. Cal I appreciate immensely, because Cal will take on my questions normally, very directly, and we have some very good exchanges, because Cal and I don't see eye to eye on everything. We see eye to eye on some things, but not everything. And I enjoy an intellectual conversation with those guys. They're always on point, But I brought up this point about Liverpool and about our fluidity, and then I brought it up on Nsban TV show, and I spoke about I brought up about how we yeah, I know. You talk about me, Drunk Vigo. I rock the boat. Yeah, I'm only rocking the boat if Aaliyah's in it. How about that? All right. Rest in peace, Aaliyah. But I am I brought up this part and point on Nsban TV on the panel, and I remember because me and Cav were discussing it, and Cav was animate about we don't play a formation, amoeba formation, as I spoke of. We don't have fluidity to our lineup, or Klopp's not interested in having fluidity to his formations. And it was back and forth, and I was intimate because it was that Manchester United game. Watch that Manchester United game where we basically had we basically served up the 7-up to Manchester United at home. If you look at that game, look at where all the players are, look at where they are when they score the goals and everything else. And it gets back to full circle to what Drunk Vigo was just mentioning about the triangles. And it's a unique thing that Klopp is doing with his formations, and the ability with the club now to have players that are so interchangeable in their positions that, for instance, the right triangle, could have Mo, you'll have Trent, and you could have Dom being that. And yet you can, in that formation, you could have Mo out wide to the right, Mo in the center, or you could have Mo track back, and you could have, which happens on less of a rarity, but then you could have even Trent or Dom in those two front positions doing an attack, and it's like interchangeable. They rotate almost. They're almost like I like to say that not only is it an amoeba style formation, but the fluidity is getting to a point where we're getting it to like a watch. How a watch has all moving pieces to make it all work. I think that's what we're having with our situation at Liverpool, but it is what it is. So we're past the 60 mark. All right. So, all right. You know what I'm going to do? I said I would do it. I will do this again. So for the last 25 minutes, and I'm only staying for 25 minutes. Okay. If there's anybody who wants to, chop it up or have their take on, on the Europa quad or on the subjects that we've spoken on, I'll open up the phone lines here, and we can chat it up if you like. But if not, cool. If you want to keep it in the comments and you want to go back and forth on the comments, I will do that as well. It's up to you guys. But it's out there. So yeah. So how are you feeling about one? Hey, 2-2 tie today for a draw for Egypt. And a draw for Egypt, and no one's forced to call in. I don't want to see any nonsense in the chat about anyone not being a part or not calling in or not doing this. I don't care if you don't or you do. All I care about is you being comfortable to be able to get your opinion out and allow for us to discuss it. That's all I'm asking. All right. So I just want to make sure that disclaimer is out there. Okay. Because I think everyone's welcome to an opinion, and everyone's welcome to have a chance to really, vocalize that point, So that's that. But yeah, 2-2 tie today in the Egypt game. That means that, hey, I'm not rooting for Egypt to lose, but I'm hoping that Salah, who ended up getting an assist today, does well. But I'll be honest with you, I would love to see those guys back on the squad, considering the earlier comment that we had about depth in our team. That is certainly the case, But yeah, looks like AC Milan trying to show Roma, trying to make humble him. But yeah, 2-2 tie today against Mozambique, who is a good team. I know that despite the FIFA rate rankings, I think they're like 100. I think Ozan might have put it out there. They're like 111th, I want to say, in the FIFA rankings. What I do enjoy about the Asian Cup, and especially what I do enjoy about the African Cup or AFCON, is that it is so wide open. Pause. When you see the play develop and the amount of intensity that are in the games, a lot of it is very open play. A lot of fast-paced players that go at it in this tournament. So it's a fun tournament to see. But all good. Maybe you guys are watching other things. If you guys so I'll take down the caller log on there. But you're still more than welcome. If you can always hop on before I log out. I do not mind at all, because like I said, I'm 12th man just as much as you're the 12th man. Oh, we have another participant. Okay. Oh, JK too. Cool.
Easy, bro.
Big up. Let me bring you on here. Give me 1 second. Make sure I can get it. All right. Big up, JK. How are you?
All good, bro. All good.
Yeah, I agree, Barry. Look at Barry's already with me on this. Can Egypt get knocked out already? Laughing out loud. Sorry, Mo. I agree with you, Barry. I'm not. I don't want to be out there in the Twitter verse or the X verse, whatever you call it nowadays, right? And openly campaigning for Egypt to get knocked out, or openly campaigning for Japan to get knocked out, because I don't want those players to think that we don't support them on all facets of the game. But yeah, I don't really mind if Egypt gets knocked out. I'm not going to be boohooing. I'm not going to be boohooing. I don't know, JK, are you with me on that, or do you want to see them go all the way and you be disappointed?
I'd rather have a happy Salah come back.
Yeah, that I would too, for sure. Yeah. Do you think that Salah, if Salah ends up like scoring a bunch of goals, it just so happens that Egypt just gets beat and gets knocked out of the tournament, and obviously he's showing form, he's showing he's committed, and he's showing he has dedication to his country, which is undoubtable. But do you think that he would take the same? He would have the same reaction that he had when Mane ended up beating him to the punch? Do you think he would come back with that mentality, or do you think that he's at a different place now?
I don't know, man. It's like I prefer the guy just to come back happy. So if he wins that, look, we've played 2 games since he's gone. How many games we played? 2.
Mhm.
And
We
we've
played
done
the
them
FA
all.
Cup. We played the FA Cup, and
Oh,
we've
yeah.
played and the League Cup.
Yeah, so 2 out of 2, scored 4 goals, let 1 in. It's okay. I mean, if he comes back with the buzz of winning it for his country, he's gonna be smiling. So when he comes back, so it's all good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I understand, Barry. I agree with you on this too. He said, "Man is getting paid 350,000. He's getting paid even more than 350K a week. Of course, he's happy. I think he's getting paid more. I mean, because it ends up being sometimes you got he might be getting paid technically from us for those accomplishments, but then again, because of the level that Liverpool, like as in the level of attention that a Liverpool player gets, you're also having him get endorsements. You're having him get, a lot of like different things, different incentives that he's making. And I mean, like also he gets paid, for instance, for appearances. He gets paid for just being on. He would get paid just for being on the bench. Like he gets paid for how many goals he scores. He gets paid for how many assists he scores. Those are all I know incentives for him. So definitely big up to Mtar Mizzi. Man, good game today, right, Mtar Mizzi, with the Japan result for sure. And then I Love Liverpool says here, I don't care what Mo does, to be honest. Just want our players knowing they don't. Just want our players knowing they don't need him. I'll be honest with you. I can agree with that to a point. I do care about what Mo does in not getting hurt. How about that? That's the one thing I really care about, is him not going off to international play, and any of our players going off to international play in any time of the year, and staying fit is the biggest thing. That's the biggest concern for me, and especially with the way that the schedule's put together these days, it's very, very difficult. Psychedelic Shaolin in the house. We saw what happened to the quad attempt last season. Salah lost the final to Mane. That then wasn't the same Salah for the rest of the season. Yeah, I don't want to see him do that. I don't want to see that happen at all.
Exactly. That's why I say I'd rather him win it, come back smiling. So good.
What real quick, let me ask you this question then too. I don't think I saw your answer in the chat. Do you think it's a bigger accomplishment if we win the Europa quad versus the trebles that have been won?
I would.
So I mean, like, look at it. Let me put this one caveat in there too. Let me put this one caveat before you answer. And again, and maybe this might change some of the people in the chat's opinion too. Those trebles that they won, albeit, yes, trebles for sure. But to have lost the League Cup, and for Manchester City, for instance, for the 115, they lost the League Cup against Southampton. That's pretty sorry. That's sorry. Like, you're basically telling me you could keep the levels up against the competition in the Champions League, the competition in FA Cup, the competition in the league all year long. But the first tournament of the year, you lose to Southampton, you get knocked out by Southampton. And it wasn't like you got knocked in the semifinal or something. They got knocked out relatively early, I think, in that year they won the treble.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, hey, that's just the one caveat I wanted to put in there. So my little bit of shade.
You know what it is though? I think now is now, and we take the quad in that way.
So you would say, so would it be, so bottom line, would it be a bigger accomplishment, or are you still saying their trebles are still better accomplishments?
I just think the Champions League gives it that weight, as I Love Liverpool was saying. I just think Champions League is Champions League, bro.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not trying to diminish the Champions League. I'm not trying to diminish it just because we're in the Europa League, by the way, too. I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm just asking, you know,
yeah.
If out of all the 4 cups, I get that the League Cup is the least prominent, but all the same, you would think that it would be the easiest to win, considering it's so early in the year. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to say, like, you won the hard accomplishments. Pause. Okay, you won the difficult trophies, which do carry the weight that you're saying. I can completely agree with that. But the one that was the easiest, the one that was the easiest on the table, you dropped, and that shouldn't that demote or demote or diminish that accomplishment just a little bit?
Of course.
Comparatively speaking, if someone does do a quad in any fashion that they do it in, whether it's obviously if you do the Champions League quad, yeah, I understand it. There's no other bigger accomplishment you can make. But even if you do the Europa, doesn't that at least say, hey, we were able to win all 3 domestic trophies, and we were able to win a European title?
You know what it is? You got to ask not a Liverpool fan that question. You need to ask like a Man United fan. He will tell you the answer. What's better?
Yeah.
You know,
no, and one of the reasons why I brought this question up, and one of the reasons why I kind of poked the button, poked the bear on me, is that in the chat, I think it was on Grizz's show, they kept saying, oh, it's a fraud quad, or they're saying like it's not an accomplishment, or it's not a success, like as in, or they're basically demeaning the chance of the accomplishment, much less we haven't even accomplished it yet. And I'm not saying we have, I'm not speaking on the sense of, oh, it's in the bag or something, but I'm just saying for us or anyone else that tries to accomplish this feat, it was just interesting how, like, when we had before Manchester United had their treble, they, obviously Liverpool had a treble in essence already. I'm knocking on wood, by the way, Drunk Vigo. So I'm not trying to jinx it. Trust me, I don't want to jinx it at all. But before we did have a treble, and then once Manchester United won their treble, that's when the goalposts kind of changed. That's why I'm bringing this up. You feel what I'm saying? Or no? Or am I totally off base? I know you're on the island, so I mean, like, you can give me a on the continent or on the island, I should say, in country style concept of what you view it as.
I would say if you win the Premier League and the Champions League, that double would be stronger than the quad that we could win. That's my opinion. I think the Premier League and the Champions League double, if you got those two, the other two are like a cherry on top type of flow, So I just feel that when you win those 2 cups, they're going to be worth more than a quad that we could win.
Okay.
Yes, that's just with those 2 trophies. And if you got the FA Cup,
but you got to keep in mind though, we did win. Oh, so if you win, so you're saying if we win if someone wins a champion, so like, how about this? Would you then say, and this is again to the chat as well. Oh, they just scored again. It's a high scoring game here. I'm not telling the score. I'm not giving away any crazy spoilers, but this game is a high scoring game. What I was going to ask though, to the chat and to yourself as well, JK, my interpretation of what you're saying is, if someone were to win a Champions League and let's say they won the Champions League and the FA Cup, that's a bigger accomplishment. That's a big accomplishment, right? Or let's just say they win the Champions League and they win the title. Let's say they won the title and they won the Champions League in the same year. Okay. But yet we won, let's say hypothetically, we win the Europa quad. Is there winning the Champions League and the title still a bigger accomplishment than us winning those 4 trophies? Even though
me,
we've obviously won one of the trophies that they've won.
Yeah,
but you understand what I mean? And that's
I don't know. I just feel
I know. I'm just kind of like
I just
throwing
feel
out
that the
different scenarios.
The Champions League is worth more than them other 3 trophies. So for me, the Champions League is the number one. Like with the Premier League, sometimes I feel like I'd rather win the Champions League than the Premier League. I don't know why. If you get me, so that's the power of the Champions League, bro. It just beats everything. You're the champion. You're the best in Europe out of everyone. You know, your Real Madrids, your Milans, and stuff like that. But if we had to pick the one trophy, okay, let's go like this. If we have to pick one trophy out of the 4, bro, which one we taking? We're taking the Premier League, aren't we?
Yeah.
So
me, I mean, like if it came down to which, do we want to win the Europa or do we want to win a league? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, all day, every day. I'd rather win the league than win Europa. You know.
Yeah. So for me, this season,
Quasi Bowl. Wake up. I see. Sorry.
The League Cup is down, like it's right in front of us. We win the next game, and win the next game, we've won it. So for me, that and the Premier League are the 2 things that we should be concentrating right now. The FA Cup, Europa League, that's coming on in the future a little bit. So, well, the FA Cup's in a few weeks' time, but it's Norwich at home.
Right.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy. So that's what I'm saying. The journey is a bit longer for the FA Cup and the Europa League. The other 2, the Premier League, yeah, it's a longer journey, but it's in our hands now. We're 2 points ahead. So, yeah, man.
Okay. Well, because I know, like, technically, what was it? I think Celtic has won technically all 4 all trophies that they could win. You know, and that was like I think it was like 1960.
Back in the days, yeah.
Yeah, it's back in the days. 1966. I want to say that. Oh, big up, Quasi in the house. Big up! Look at this, Quasi BB in the house.
Easy, brother.
Yeah, I just had to come in there.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the door's always open for you, brother. You got keys, so you're more than welcome always. You know.
Nah, man, thank you so much, man. Kismet, good to see you, man. Finally, I didn't know you had you come on the channel, but good to see you. Next time, let me know if you're on X, so I could send you the link, man, so you could join in.
Yeah, for sure, man. Nice to see you, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate the support all the time, man. Thank you so much. No
problem, bro.
Well, so good, Tom, man.
Good. Hey, I'll give you a little refresher on why I brought this title together, and that's because I was I think it was on Grizz's show, and there was in the chat there's a bunch of there's a Manchester United guy that was basically diminishing this whole talk of the Europa quad, basically.
Yeah.
But I know that you've been very vocal as well about what we're going to be dealing with and everything else. And what was interesting about the banter, I guess, that he was trying to create was that he was basically saying that the Europa quad is not an accomplishment. Like it's no big deal. So what if you win it? It's still not as great of an accomplishment as the treble that either Manchester teams have done. And I was kind of under the pretense of saying I don't know if that's completely accurate. In my opinion, I think the Europa quad is still an amazing accomplishment, and if not, could be calculated as being even a bigger accomplishment, especially since, and I dropped this caveat for JK, especially since both teams that have won the treble, both Manchester United and both and City. I was about to call them the 115, but the City ended up doing it by not accomplishing the easiest of the 4. So it's kind of like I get you won all the difficult ones, the 3 top ones that everyone wants to win, but the sheer fact that you weren't able to win the 4th is kind of.
Let me respectfully cut you off. Manchester United fans, in their head, they think they are the gatekeepers of treble and anything else.
Right.
They don't. Liverpool has already won a treble.
Right. Yeah.
We already won a treble. The thing is, Man United.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. Man United fans like to rewrite history.
Right.
So because they did it this way, so if you don't do it this way, then it doesn't count.
Exactly. Thank you. That's what I said earlier too. They've moved the goalposts.
They always do that. So
if
it was so easy, then why haven't they won the quad with the Europa? I mean, when Alex Ferguson was here, you could have gone in and won the Europa with the quad. They couldn't do it. So when it comes to Man U, you can deal with it. The question is, have you done it before? No.
Yeah.
Okay, then what are you talking about? City, that's why I was in favor of City winning the treble, because it shut the Man U fans out. They were so depressed. I've never seen Man United fans so depressed beside us beating them 7-0, 5-0 at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
They were so depressed because now the whole treble conversation is whitewashed. It's the same thing like Arsenal fans. When we were going 25 games unbeaten, they were petrified, like literally diarrhea every day, because they thought that Liverpool was going to go unbeaten this season, and then that would be the end of their whole invincible thing. And guess what? We would have done it way much better than they did it. And it took a whole pandemic to stop us. You see what I'm saying? So within is, if Liverpool win the quad, the question is, has City or Man U ever done it before? So if you want to do it better, then okay, do better than we did. You go win Champions League and then win another treble with the Champions League. I mean, win the domestic treble with the Champions League, then you have a quad. So then nobody could challenge you until somebody do identical. But right now, they are so scared. These fans, they are so scared. And this is the part where, I don't know if you on. I was on the show yesterday with Chris.
I'm sorry, that's a good one.
Exactly. That's why they're losing their mind right now.
They're drinking too much soda. They're drinking too much. I don't know if you guys call it pop or soda pop or soda. I don't know. You have to tell me, JK, how you guys reference it out there in England. But yeah, drinking too much 7-Up, I guess.
They're so scared right now. Arsenal fans. I was just finishing my show and I was saying, Arsenal fans keep comparing themselves to Liverpool. Oh, remember how Klopp came in where you guys were? That's the same thing where Arteta is. We're like, bro, you guys don't get it, huh? Liverpool, it started with the owners. We didn't see what they were doing. So a lot of times we were like, oh, these owners are useless because they don't spend like City or they don't spend like Abraham. And then they find their mistakes, they fix the front office. And then the final puzzle was Klopp. And Klopp came in, he said, listen, we have to go from doubters to believers. And when he said that, majority of the Liverpool fans who had the brain said, I'm going to keep my mouth shut and let them do their thing. And then everything else was history. The new FSG out crowd is the brand new fans who just jump into the bandwagon when we were winning.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So, yes, now a lot of times do the FSG out crowd have a point? Yes, sometimes they do have a point. But majority of them don't, because they think that football needs to be played like how Chelsea used to win because Abraham shows up to the game every single time. That's how they think. And that's not how it is. But Arsenal fans, they don't get it. Okay, your front office have copied Liverpool. Your owner copied our owners. But your fans don't know how to keep their mouth quiet and stay back and let them
recognize. Frank's trying to tell. He wasn't. That's
just what he's trying to tell them.
He was telling all the teams in the league this.
You see what I mean? It takes time. Let them. Yes, the manager was not experienced as the other top managers, but let the man cook. If it doesn't work, you guys from day one. What did they want? Oh, let's bring Simone. And this is the funny thing about, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because Jay Kismet has been patiently waiting for me to shut up. Bring Simone. What's he gonna do? Pack the bus for every time he plays Luton and plays Forest and every other team? Something that the league is already doing. La Liga is the weakest as it ever been. And which position is he right now? He is the highest paid manager in the world. What has he won? 2 La Ligas, right? And maybe Del Rey one time. Twice failed in the Champions League final. He'd rather pick a fight with Morata than instead of coaching his team. And we saw Conte come in. What did Conte do? Nothing. Mourinho, nothing. And they think that, oh, just bring Simone. The disrespect that they give to the rest of the league is astonishing. That's why I love to see Arsenal fans fail, because they think that, oh, just bring Simone, we will spend some money, and then we will take over. Look how long.
There are some. I mean, Dustin's saying that he says that he disagrees with you. He says, nah, Simone is a proper manager. If they get him, they'll be serious.
What serious?
They'll definitely change. It'll change the mindset, and I think it'll possibly bring the.
Didn't we say the same thing when Mourinho went to Man U?
Look, Mourinho is the most, since Alex Ferguson, Mourinho is the most accomplished Manchester United coach.
Hey, don't forget that Van Gaal.
Oh, I get it.
And what happened? This is the Premier League, people. You can't just show up. Look at Pep. Pep first year. What happened to Pep? He almost fell off at the top four.
Because Mourinho won something with them. I'm pretty sure he won something.
Europa.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yes, you bring in a good Simone, great. But when he comes in, he has to rechange the whole squad. Right now, the players that Arsenal has right now, maybe 5 of them will stay if you want to have a Simone squad.
So
and
then
where are the players? Oh, 12-man and Kismet. Let me ask you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Simone team that he won La Liga with and went to multiple Champions League finals with.
Right.
Why hasn't he done the same thing with Atletico? They give him everything he wants. He's the most paid manager in the world. And he keeps resigning a new contract every single time, right? Extension with more money.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That team, he won the La Liga and won. And I thought that year he was top 2, maybe top 5 managers in the world. He was that good.
Mm-hmm.
Why hasn't he do the same thing at Atletico?
I mean, if he's making the money that you're saying, how he's being like one of the top paid in La Liga, like he is, maybe it's because it sounds like he's more concerned about his paycheck than he is about his players' paychecks.
That's my point. So that means those players don't exist anymore. That's why he's not competing. Yes, he won with Suarez, but that was because Madrid and Barca was trash. This year, same thing. And guess who's in the top 2 right now? Madrid and Genoa, right? Yeah. Where's Atletico? They could barely make a fourth team. So my thing is, so the players that Simone built that team with, that made him one of the best managers, those players don't exist anymore. That's why Mourinho is struggling at Rome. That's why Conte couldn't do anything at.
Could I ask you this then?
Yes,
and I'll open it to you and Jay. I don't know, JK, if you agree with Quasi's stance, but can you at least give him props for the fact that he's created a culture at Atletico Madrid, and that culture is that, like, whether you want to talk about the dark arts, I understand that that's one of the big components of that culture, but I mean, it's still to the point where, like, we saw how who was it? Was it what they played? I think they played Manchester United, or who they played? They played someone in the Champions League, and they were like, they're basically just fouling the heck out of them in the game, and they were getting yellows and reds at the end of the game, like it was going out of style.
That was City.
It was City. Okay.
Yeah, City. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And and they had a chance at winning that game too at points, right? So like, can you at least agree or at least accept that despite the fact that I don't like that kind of style play, that culture does exist, that he's created, and that culture has thus made them have an identity?
Yeah, I think with the Atletico, their problem is they got neighbors who win everything, Real Madrid,
right?
And because of
which
that,
is very similar to the City. I mean, I would
United City sort of thing.
Yeah,
and I think that's been why Atletico haven't really shined. And also, I feel like like Harry Kane, who stayed at Tottenham for so many years, and then he eventually's moved now. Now he's looking at a possible Champions League and league title. So maybe Simone needs to do that as well, change the scene. You know what I'm saying? He's been there so long, but have they improved? Yeah, they've got a culture and stuff now.
I mean, isn't Griezmann, right? Griezmann plays for them. He's revitalized I know he's had a big accomplishment or something. He became like their all-time leading scorer or something like that, I think.
For Madrid, yeah?
Yeah, for Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They've had quality players in Griezmann and the other guy. What's his name? Who only came to Chelsea for a year.
I know you're talking about.
He's not even that good, bro. If he was that good, we remember his name.
Yes, that's true.
You know,
That's true. That is true.
he's one footballer I will never understand. Like, what has he done? That guy who I'm talking about, we don't know the name of.
Okay.
What's his name, man?
I'm trying to find it real quick too for you, because
Joe
it's interesting. I saw a piece on Girona.
Felix, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, João
Yeah,
Felix.
Felix,
Yes,
yeah.
of course. Oh yeah, and
Felix,
he said Chelsea. I should have known that right off the bat. Yeah.
You think he'd come to England and show you what he's all about? He's a change of scene. He's left Spain, and he's going to come to Chelsea and like show us what he's all about. And bro, he failed. You know, I think a lot of players fail in England. You know, and
but it's also could be because like the style of play is slightly different in La Liga than it is in the Prem.
Yeah, and I think he was really used to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that some people are just more able to adjust to that style of play a little bit easier. But I was watching a piece on Girona. It was actually very interesting piece about how basically they're saying how, you know, Girona is basically playing like street ball. That's how they're basically like, as in the way that they're you know, they're doing like, you know, kind of like the FA. If you play FIFA, you know how you play FIFA and you can play like the 5-on-5s and everything. They were just saying how that's basically the mindset or the structure of their system is basically set up like that. Whereas it's just about allowing players to just be individually brilliant, you know, and being able to create channels for them to be brilliant on their own, as opposed to having like a constructed system or something like that.
And that's why we were saying like what's football become a systemized game, you know, where systems, and where the fair play has gone, you know, the Maradonas, them type of players, you know, like who can get the ball and do something. Like Messi, he's still playing, but I don't think we'll see another Messi to that level.
No. Yeah,
because the youth players are being trained just to play a formation, play a system, this, that, and the other, you know. And I think it's not having a good effect on the players all in all. Yeah,
I can. Red for Life says he hates Atletico and Simone. He says he's a dirty player. He's a dirty manager, which so far I'm in agreement. But he says, and his players are trained to have his mentality, it seems, and he can't respect that. And that's what I was referencing. I'm like, you know, if they're kind of like the Detroit Pistons, if you want to make a basketball analogy. You know, the bad boys, when they had the Detroit Piston bad boys back in the day of like Isaiah Thomas and Rick Mahorn. In those days, Bill Laimbeer, they're kind of like dirty players, you know, good players, you know, but just definitely dirty, you know, do those dark arts. They like to they'll give you like an elbow in the sternum or something like that, you know, those kind of players. But yet those teams still, you know, competed, you know, toe and toe, whether it was against the Lakers or against the Celtics for a champ, obviously to get out of the East, or, you know, against the Lakers.
Yeah, but no one has to answer my question. Where are those players? That's why he's struggling at the La Liga right now. We know what kind of players that he likes. Why hasn't he rebuilt those type of players? Where are you going to find another Godin from? He has a great goalkeeper right now. If he gets a solid defense, you cannot beat that guy.
I think, you know what's funny about this, and this is something I agree with Dustin. I agree with Dustin on this. I think Real Madrid plays actually a little bit dirtier than, I know we like to see. We see all the glare and, you know, all the pizzazz and glitter that goes with Real Madrid, but I agree. I think during the era, especially when they had I won't go blank on his name, damn this, and he's like one of the biggest players, Sergio, right? You know, during those years, like
the professionals at that,
he was a professional at that kind of stuff.
You
know, doing stuff like as in, I still think that I don't understand how VAR did not give him a red card for the foul on Mohamed Salah, for instance. You can literally see him holding on to the arm and pulling him down into the turf.
Yeah, but that one we didn't have what's it called, VAR. If we
I
had
thought
VAR, if we had VAR, no, we didn't have VAR.
Not part. Okay, then.
We didn't have VAR. If we have VAR, he would have been sent off. But the thing is, this is the thing. Yes, they're pretty, but they also have a dark side on them. That's right. But I'm sticking to the manager. Arsenal fans says if they bring Simone and somebody says Simone is be very serious, I'm talking this is the Premier League. Whatever Atletico does in La Liga, can you do that at Stoke in a rainy night?
Well, you know what? That's one. I just think though that if you had Simeone at Manchester United, he would have
18 months later.
He'd have carte blanche to have like complete authority, and he would make sure that he has the players that, again, he would probably try to shape Manchester United in his image.
And that's what I'm asking. Why hasn't done it at Atletico? He's been there over 10 years now. He has had one good team for the half of his career. He's just like Arsene Wenger right now.
Yeah, he needs to leave then, bro. That's what it is.
That's the thing. And if he goes to another club, we want to see how you manage another. It's easy when you are where you are with the owners likes you, the fans love you, no pressure on you. So you can win whenever you want. You come to Manchester United, you know how these Man U fans are. They want to win yesterday.
Yeah, but I think Simeone did that because he's seen Barcelona and Real Madrid with their flair players. He thought, how can I get these guys? And he said, yeah, he had to do the dirty, to play the dirty game, you know?
Yeah.
No, you will drink it, but I'm going to tell you, Stoke is going to beat you because Stoke is also going to play exactly the way he's played. So how are you going to play a game where both teams are sitting back, packing the box? Well, do you think Man United want to see the way they played against Liverpool? 38 games every weeknight. All you do is sit in the back and bring on the counter-attack. Yeah, it'll be fun when you start winning, but eventually it gets boring quick.
I get that. And you most likely would see similar results from 2 times that Spurs have had, very, prestigious coaches. You'll probably see something similar to a Conte, or you'll see something similar to when they even had Mourinho. I mean, when Spurs had Mourinho and Spurs had Conte, their play was just kind of boring and stale, to me at least, And a lot of that was because they just sat back and kind of like wanted to hit on the counter, but definitely do the bend not break type thing. But
yeah. I think
so
because they're old school. Yeah.
What? Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jake.
No, I was just saying, like Conte and Mourinho's, they're old school type of managers. So for them, defense is everything.
Yeah.
I don't think that kind of manager resonates with today's player, though.
Yeah,
and that's my point. That is what I'll keep telling you guys. Even him, Simone, who developed those players, those golden type of players, where are you going to go find him to do the dirty work every single game?
Yeah.
Exactly. And you're going to bring him to Arsenal fans who still have Arsene Wenger as their, who has the shrine of Arsene Wenger, and you be like, oh, sit back and play 90 minutes or park the bus.
Yeah,
that's what I keep telling you. Liverpool fans, we came to the realization that we were crap. That history card was running real quick. The bank account was running very lean. We could not use that history card anymore. You see what I mean? And then we came to realization, and we were like, you know what? We need to shut the hell up and let the manager do this stuff. And that's exactly what we did. And we had beautiful moments.
Well, I have faith in Klopp.
Like even Kismet, if I was to ask you what was some of your favorite time about club season when he came in, it won't be when we were winning everything. It's gonna be those years like the Dortmund game, right? Or was it Norwich where Lallana scored those days? Arsenal fans, where's theirs? They don't have any. They're thinking that just because last year they almost. So again, like I asked people on my channel like a few minutes ago, 12 men. What's the difference between what Arteta did last year and Ole did when we came in third?
No, there's no difference. If anything, I think that it's almost might be even almost a less of an accomplishment because there's more it's more pressure obviously on the Manchester United job than there is on the Arsenal job. I think personally. I know that there's a lot of pressure on both gigs. I'm not saying that there isn't pressure on both management positions, but I just think that we've seen what it's done to some great managers, or not great, but no, I wouldn't say great, but good managers that Manchester United has brought in to try to fix the problem, you know. And they've tried various variations of trying to get something that'll work, whether it was, you know, they went as far as to bring in Ralph Ragnick, you know, as in someone that, you know what, real quick, someone that I would possibly be open to seeing as our sporting director, by the way. So there was a shout for that recently. I know that we have I know Quasi's a big Edwards supporter and everything, but you know, a lot, but he's an interesting player, interesting shout that I heard recently. But so Quasi, let me make sure I get this on the record though. So do you think it's a bigger accomplishment? Oh, big up to Carmino, by the way. Carmino's our New York Queens in the house. Big up Queens in the house. I was gonna say, do you think? Let's do a hypothetical. If we were to win the Europa quad, would that be a bigger accomplishment again than having the against their trebles, against the treble?
You have four trophies. Do the math.
It's just that simple math. That's it. It's just you got four, you got three. That's it.
You got four, you got three. I mean, we beat everybody else. I mean, it's not our fault that we are in Europe. Yeah, we are in Europe. We are in Europa. Okay, we won it, right? It's a European trophy, right? We won it. My new fans are talking trash, but you saw how much they were celebrating when Mourinho won it. Yeah. Okay, so it's 4 trophies versus 3. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's like Versace and Primark. one, you know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I understand. Yes, Champions League is the biggest. Champions League is huge. But guess what? We are not talking about we didn't win the Prem, because Champions League and the Prem, which one is bigger?
That's a good question.
You see what I'm saying?
I would personally rather win the Champions League. That's me.
No, I want to win the Champions League. We should have won 2, 3 more. But you can only win the trophies that you are in.
True.
Right now, if we don't win the Europa, you know everybody's going to come for our neck. We are the biggest club in the Europa right now, including with the teams that has fallen down. So the question is, do you want to win it or you don't want to win it? You just want a domestic treble?
Yeah. I look, I'm there with you on it. I get you. I've been saying, I personally have been saying, and it's been interesting because I've been, I've been allowing the chat to chime in, to give their opinions, make sure they brought context and everything else, because I wanted to understand the reasoning behind it. JK did us the pleasure of hopping on and on the broadcast here and vocalizing his opinion. But yeah, and I was trying to get Bayesian Reds TV involved in this, because I'm sure Bayesian would have certainly a well-hearted conversation to bring, or well-hearted combo to bring to this topic. But I just think that, yeah, you know what? If we do the baby quad, as Bayesian Reds TV like to call it, or the Europa quad, I just think it's a major. I think it's such a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
We have such
everything we're in, yeah.
And okay, you have Bayesian Reds TV, by the way, is going to have a call in later on today. So be sure, if you guys are available, to subscribe to their channel first point. But if you can, definitely check out and call in. I'm gonna make an effort to do the same as well, and I'll bring up this topic on their show as well. But I just think it's an accomplishment all the same. I get it, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, I know rivals are going to demean it, try to diminish it, the accomplishment. I know, expect neutrals. But if we allow for that narrative to gain momentum, then
but that's Liverpool fans, though, because we have fickle Liverpool fans who are so scared to get bantered that everything that the rivals say, they be like, oh, it's like a kid who gets teased and they run to their house and cry to their daddy.
Yeah.
That's what most Liverpool fans are right now. They are so scared of little some fan just say something else.
Yeah, Yeah.
They start doing, oh my God, you see, this is the reason why. We're like, bro, do you know what you just accomplished?
Oh, I know, but that's why I'm getting at what I'm getting. Like, as in, if you sometimes with narratives, if you allow for them to grow, it grows like a cancer. It grows like a like it just continues to just gain momentum. It's like a snowball going down a hill. Eventually, it can cause either a big snowball or even an avalanche. And it just covers everything. And that's why I've been wanting to make sure that we don't get into this place, because I was telling JK and some of the subscribers here about how I'm going to have a show called Flip Flop, basically, okay, where I'm just going to call out on some of these flip floppers that are out here that say one thing one moment and then
do something else.
Flip flop the other way, And
12 man, I have to jump out, but before I go, two things. Dustin, it doesn't matter who the manager is. If you are not tough, you can't make tough out of you. Right? So Simone coming in is not going to make Arsenal players all of a sudden. They all look like Mike Tyson out there. That ain't going to happen. So cut that one. And two, Salah is not going to be on the Rushmore when today they were struggling to Mozambique and he almost missed the penalty. I mean, the way things are going, Liverpool fans, your prayers might be answered very quickly because Egypt is struggling right now.
I'm hoping.
They're struggling big time right now. So, and right now, West Ham fans, Kudus might be on his way too, because I refuse to watch Ghana play Cape Verde. And it's not that we are losing 1-0. It's the fact that Cape Verde has 68% of the game against Ghana. It's like Luton having 68% against Liverpool. I'm not going to watch it. What is this kind of... Yes, sir, Bajan. I'll be there, man. Good to see you, brethren.
Hey,
what? Thank you so much for having me.
Also, hey,
good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you for jumping on, Quasi. Yeah. Also, hey, Quasi, watch Asian Cup too. You'll enjoy the Asian Cup too, I think.
Oh yeah.
I've been watching a lot of the Asian Cup recently. I mean, I've been watching like some of the more obscure games that they have, or obscure countries that you're going to be seeing, and it's still a lot of fun. So. But thank you for jumping on. If you can, please do subscribe. If you're new to seeing Quasi Bowl TV, most likely you shouldn't be, because I know Quasi is always a loyal friend of this channel, and I'm a loyal friend of his own. So you can definitely subscribe to his channel.
Thank you so much.
Make a
that's
everything.
Okay, if you say that, then yes, we may have to move somebody. Their goalkeeper has to move out of the Rushmore that 12 men created. Yes, AFCON. Hey, he's in there.
Hey, if you guys haven't seen that episode, that was a great episode.
Yeah, that was a great show. Y'all need to go watch it. But yes,
Uncle Albert was on there. Quasi was on there. It was a really, really fun show. And on top of that, you know what's funny is that I just saw an article that has the
list. Was
the list? Yeah, they had a list.
Which one was it? Was it the one we did?
Yeah.
I told you.
But Salah was in it. Salah was in it. Because he was number 3 on the list.
Flavor of the month. Big up to yourself, Dustin. Good to see you. Peace, people.
Peace, bro.
Definitely. Peace out.
I just wanted to add something, bro. If Pep Guardiola was the Arsenal manager when Arteta was brought in and was given the same funds, they would have won the Premier League by now. So for me, Arsenal's problem is the manager.
Yeah.
Laptop.
But they've been giving, Arteta's had a lot of money.
He's had a
lot of money. He's spent a lot. And the thing about it is, this is like how I've been talking about Arsenal. Arsenal supporters now are talking about, we need Ivan Toney, we need Ivan Toney, or Osimhen. And I'm just like, that's another 100 million. Easy. And on top of that, he doesn't even really, he wants, like for Toney, he knows that he doesn't want to leave the fans of his club in the lurch. I get that you bringing them a large sum of money, but he feels like he owes it to them to come back and perform for them to help their efforts this year,
Yeah, I think he's just doing the right thing, if you understand my point. He's had 8 months out and stuff, and they've probably helped him quite a lot. So he just feels the respect thing. He's going to stay until the summer. I think in the summer, you might see some movement with him. maybe. But I don't understand the price tag of that guy. 100 million for him?
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, like, do you understand the price tag for Rice? Was Rice a $100 million player?
I think if we replaced Rice for Henderson, he would have made our team better.
Oh no, I'm not saying that Rice is not a good player. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying Rice is an excellent player, but is he a $100 million player?
Ooh.
Is he 100 million? Because he was over 100 million pounds. So
yeah, I know.
Is he a 100 million pound player?
Ooh, that's a good question, bro.
And I will give you this. Nowadays, because I know some of the players I've heard us, I'm gonna do not tomorrow, but on I think either Monday or Tuesday, I'm gonna do some of the names I've heard us really be linked to with heavily. Some of these players nowadays that are out there for 60 million, 70 million. It's not that there's 60 million pound players, not even that if there's 70 million pound players really per se. But it's almost as if 30, it's like 30 is the new 60 or 60 is the new 30, I should say. You know what I mean? It's just weird that way, that how it all works out, that nowadays 60 million gets you a player that you normally would have gotten for 30 million, unless you're like a Liverpool and you're able to do all this, like, proper due diligence of knowing who's got release clauses or who's got this, who's got that. And we get like a Maka for like 30 some million. Excuse me. Whereas in Maka easily is a $70 million pound player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like the guy from Tottenham today who played on the wing, Johnson. The guy cost 50 million, bro, and very poor. And I've seen a few games with him, and he's got speed. I've seen once he just ran so fast. I was like, yo, he's got better speed on him. But all in all, you're paying 50 million for that, and that just showing what the football is now. Anthony Gordon, he cost 50 million, but he's showing signs of that 50 million. Yeah, Badger, we'll pop on the show later, bro, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I know. Question for the chat and also for JK, because I haven't heard anything just yet as to when Dom is expected to be back. I'm hoping that he will be back for that return fixture against Fulham on the 24th. January 24th is a good date for me, so I like that date a lot. So, have you heard any news on Dom yourself, or?
No, but judging time-wise, he's missed a few weeks now, so
and it makes sense. Yeah,
so it sort of makes sense. We don't really hear a lot about the injuries. They just sort of come back into training slowly, and then I think he's in training today. So maybe he'll be back after maybe the Chelsea game, maybe the one after the Bournemouth game.
Okay. So, I think I can understand this. I remember it was supposed to be only 2 weeks that he was going to miss, or 2 games he was going to miss. He's obviously missed 2 games. That's what I was told was going to be 2 games, but or at least that's what I read, was that he's going to be missing 2 games. Earth Day. It is Earth Day for me on the 24th. It is.
Blessings.
And Phil Bidwell is saying, I'm gonna get Phil Bidwell's comments in here too. But to answer, Barry says Fulham second leg.
So what's
Dustin's checking on it for us as well. He's doing a little research, little Google research for us. Philip had to say a quad is a quad, but a quad is a quad, but a quad, including the Champions League, is another level. And I can understand that. I could definitely, getting a quad with the Champions League over getting a quad with the Europa, definitely 2 different things. However, it's still big accomplishments all the same. I think it is still, I really do think it's a bigger accomplishment than winning a treble, to be honest with you. Because technically we would have won a treble too, but all the same. So it says Dustin's saying 75% on playing. Okay. I know. This is for Beijing Reds. He said, this is Realism Jared to Beijing Reds TV. He says, how are you cooking and still commenting? You're going to burn something or forget to throw some ingredients in there. Hey, you don't know. those boys from the Caribbean, they can definitely, as my grandmother would say, they can burn. They can burn in the kitchen. And that means like they can cook it up. They can really cook
it up, yeah.
You know.
Are you a good cook, bro?
I like to think I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to think I am. It's just, you know, if you're out there trying to get a good woman to like be the main chef in the house, it doesn't help for me to be a good cook, because then they often say, well, then you cook. So, that's something I don't always put that out there. How about that?
Yeah, but the best chefs in the world are men, you know. So.
Hey.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. I got you.
You know, but all the Michelin star guys, they're mostly men. So
yeah. Hey, but if you find yourself a good woman, I definitely will say that they put any chef to shame. How about that?
Okay.
That's how I would say. Let's see. Also, what was the other question? There's one other thing. Wait, what's Benjamin Red saying? These young girls in these times. So that's the truth. That's the truth. A lot of them don't cook. A lot of the younger generation of females in the world do not take on the mantle of, you know, of cooking in the house.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
My home, you know, my grandmother, my mom, yeah. I mean, my dad can cook, but like, you know, my mom was the main chef. You know, I guess, you know what, more so, how about I always say, like, if it comes to, for me, I'll be the person that does the barbecuing. Okay. If we get the grill, I'll work the grill, and and I'll allow for my, you know, my significant other to work the stove. How about that? Yeah, there you go. How about that? That's a compromise. How about that? That's my compromise. Oh man.
No, but I think when you start to learn how to cook when you're young, it helps you with your football game.
Oh yeah. For sure.
It's mad because when I was younger, I used to cook quite a lot, and it was weird concentration on each ingredient. It sort of
I agree. I agree with that. I agree. You know what? I wish I had learned that earlier in life, because I know my younger brother, he was a baseball star, and like, but he was intimate about the type of meals that he would eat. So he would do the meal preps, you know, for himself before he went to, you know, his training or anything like that. So you know how it is. I'm not going to get there with that like that. I'm not even going to talk about the Hugh Hefner settings. I'm not even going to go there. But anyways, good show today. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for you know, chiming in, listening to us. You know, talk about our ambitions and our hopes and ambitions for a Europa quad, a baby quad, a treble, whatever it is that we have, that you have winning in your sights. Keep in mind that let's just do it. We're in it to win it. We're in all 4 competitions. That's something that not many teams can even say. So hey, much love to you all. Thank you, Jay Kismet, for joining us. Do you want to have a parting shout?
No, just a good show, bro. Good to talk to you, and it's good to talk to Quasi as well. Subscribe to these guys, press the like button and stuff, and catch Beige and Reds to show later on as well. Yes, definitely. Beige and Reds TV is going to be later on, and it's going to be a call-in, so you guys can chop it up. Or even if you guys don't want to, you know, do the call-in portion of it, you can still, you know, chop it up with the chat. You know, I'll be in there too for sure. Big up to Nigel. Big up. I don't know if you're just tuning in or you're just catching this late, or if you're just chilling and just kind of like hanging out. But sure, Nigel, please do leave a comment if you are watching this on the replay, or you didn't get to catch the whole entire segment, because it was a really interesting segment. You know, it was a really interesting segment. I think that like it was entertaining to see how people view
this Europa quad and this journey that we're on. So, but there's no other supporters in the world I'd rather be on this journey with, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So big up to my Reds, big up to the Mighty Reds Army. Again, big up to Quasi from Quasi Bowl TV, big up to Beja Reds TV in the house here, Psychedelic Shaolin, Realism Jared, I Love Liverpool, of course our queen, our one of our Reds queen, Marion, Keep It Level in the house, Philip Bidwell, so many different names. Carmino was in the house here. You know, a lot of good people. I appreciate each and every one of you. Psychedelic Shaolin, I think I said that, or M. Tarmizi, Barry as well. You know, there's a lot. Drunk Vigo, can't forget to say that too as well, because Drunk Vigo is my guy. He's definitely a good person as well. Knowledgeable, all the same. It's just like I see JK and Drunk Vigo on Frank Carlisle's shows. So like, you know, if you get a chance, definitely check them out over there too. But all the same, hey, take care of yourselves, but be sure to take care of the others around you as well. You know, it's that full circle of love and showing that true measure of being a Red in my mind, which is knowing you'll never walk alone. And that's what you'll find here on the Liverpool 12th Man Show. So thank you again for joining me. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. If it's 7, hey, look. If it's 7, look to see on YouTube and check out the Liverpool 12th Man Show. All right. Hope to see you soon. Take care, guys.
Peace.